All right, let's talk about Tua's rough day, right? No getting around it. I think even the diehard of diehard Tua fans will be saying this was a rough one. But how bad was it, and how bad should we feel about the Dolphins after they're on a 4-game losing streak? I actually think I still feel okay about them, and I still feel okay about Tua. I think as a whole, I tend to be someone who pays less attention to an individual game and pays more attention to the overall body of work. What's the biggest body of work? How do we feel about that more so than one specific game? Tua did play poorly though, so let's talk about the issues that happened with Tua, but then also why I'm not as concerned as maybe some other people are about him and about the Dolphins in general. So we're gonna start off with the interceptions because there were a few of them. Three fourth quarter interceptions. Like, that's, no matter how you slice it, that's not good. This was the first. I mean, this is kind of just what it was. I don't know what exactly happened here. Maybe it was the cold or something. I don't know, because it, was still chilly in Miami. Obviously, not as bad as it was in other states. I don't know. Maybe that had a factor, but it's zone coverage play, and you see again something that Tua has been amazing at all season long, of just finding the gaps in coverage and hitting his receivers. Been great at this all year. This has been his bread and butter. This has been a big part of why the Dolphins have been successful, is because of what Tua's been able to do in this type of situation. Right when this play begins, it is working out perfectly. I mean, you have a receiver who's open right here. Also, maybe worth noting just this game situation, 2020. You just got the ball back after an interception. It's, 14 minutes left in the game. You have a receiver open, and Tua just misses that throw. I mean, there's no getting around it. That's just a missed throw. He wasn't under pressure. He was just a bit off on that one. Gets intercepted. Okay. Missed throws happen, and this is part of the issue with this this game play style, is that if you make a mistake, if you miss a throw, it usually is going to result in an interception, right? When the whole game plan for the Dolphins is let's get Tua to consistently have to, make these sort of tough throws where there's a bubble where you can make the throw. He hits those pretty consistently, but if you miss one, good chance it gets picked. That's just the nature of the way that the Dolphins play. All that being said, let's go to the other two. I don't really have an issue with the other two. I mean, okay, I have an issue with it, but I'm not going to sit here and say, wow, Tua sucks. What's going on with Tua on these throws? It's more so what's going on with the Dolphins on these ones. So first, it's a zone coverage play that the Packers are in on a second down and 13. So trying to gain some yards, make it an achievable third down situation. Again, worth noting, Dolphins are down 3 points with 6 minutes left. So even if you don't get the first down, you can at least tie the game if you don't turn the ball over. However, right when the play begins, you see right here, it's just a miscommunication. I mean, Tua is getting ready to throw it to the receiver where he's at right now, but the receiver is going to keep running deep. It's just a miscommunication. There's not really much else to it. Watch Devondre Campbell make a great read on the ball. Again, Devondre Campbell, just an incredible player. So, I mean, okay, sometimes, great player makes you pay for your mistake, but that's not like Tua is going up there and just sucking. That's just that it was an unfortunate break to have a miscommunication at an important time, which is still a concern, right? You don't want to have these miscommunications this late in the season on these important of games. Like, finally, the last one. So again, very important spot here. And to be honest, I don't know how everyone else was feeling. I had this game on, and I felt like, man, isn't this just the kind of way that the Packers season would end, right? With Tua driving down the field, scoring a touchdown, they win it, go up, score to 7 points, kick the extra point, win the game, and that kind of puts the nail in the coffin of the Packers. It was right there. Packers season was, because the Packers aren't making the playoffs with 9 losses. They might not make it with 8, but they at least have a chance. But then Tua would take the snap, Tua would fire towards his right, and it looked like what happened there, I don't really, again, sure, I could sit here and criticize it a ton. There's some criticism. I think what happened here is Tua thought this was man coverage. It turned out to be zone. So when the corner stayed back in that area, he thought he was going to get cleared out. And I'm assuming actually what happened was this Quay Walker was so far behind, Tua just assumed that Quay Walker just wasn't very good and got beat that badly, which is, we have seen that happen with Quay Walker at times. But I don't know. That's what I'm assuming happens. Tua he misread the coverage, which is, it's a concern, right? Miscommunication, a misread of coverage, and then a missed throw all in the fourth quarter also had the worst possible outcome in each three. So you got to be better at that. Can't make those mistakes. There's no getting around it. I'm just trying to say that for the future, am I concerned about Tua? Am I concerned about is Tua going to be a turnover machine all of a sudden? I don't don't really think so. I think it was just a kind of weird game. Like, Tua's been great this season. Listen, we all thought Tua wasn't that great after his first season, okay? And we all had our concerns about Tua after his second season. I think that if you're just a football fan watching it, you had concerns about Tua's second season, but Tua's played well this year. Like, we have to just give credit to Tua for how he's played this year. We can't just keep assuming that he's going to become that guy. Again, I'm not saying that I think Tua is Patrick Mahomes. I've never been on that train, but can he be like a Ryan Tannehill? I think so, and Ryan Tannehill will have these types of games. He's a good quarterback, right? And who knows how good he can get, but as of right now, that's where he's at, which means, yes, there will be the occasional stinker. That's just playing football. It happens. Like, one more play I want to talk about. This was still in the fourth quarter, and it's a really good play, and to be honest, if you take out those 3 interceptions, which I get, you can't take out 3 interceptions, like, that's just not how football works, but if you were to, his stat line would have been insane this game. Like, that was the issue, was those 3 turnovers. I'm just going to show one example of the good play, but there was plenty of good plays. This one's a zone coverage play. Tyreek Hill running over the middle. Again, watch how when it begins, you see the window where he has to throw it. In between those 2 Green Bay players over the middle to hit Tyreek Hill. And as you see, it is right on the money. A beautiful throw to Tyreek Hill, and they're able to pick up a chunk play there. Tua has been great this season. Like, we don't have to overthink it. Tua has been great this season. Tua had a bad game. Both things can be true. Like we don't have to, overreact to one negative game. Some Dolphins fans got mad at me early on in the season when I was saying, yeah, sure, Tua's playing great, but, let's see how long it lasts. And now I think that Tua haters will be saying that I'm, not reacting enough when I say, yes, Tua had a bad game, but let's relax about it a little. The reality is, listen, there's no doubt about it. This was a tough loss, and you don't want to, this is not a great game from Tua. I don't think anyone is going to disagree that this was not a great game from Tua. However, at the same time, it is something where, I would still say I don't think it was a disaster from Tua either. It was a bad game. He had a bad 3 plays. It was a disastrous fourth quarter. That is totally fair, but a good first 3 quarters, I thought. They play the Patriots next week and then the Jets the following week. And listen, those are 2 teams that have been solid this season, and their records are very similar to the Dolphins at this point. But I still feel like I'm going to pick the Dolphins to win both of those games. And if they win both of those games, they're still in. And there's a chance they get in even with just one win of those 2. So I still think the Dolphins get in. It's scary. You can't have another one of these performances from Tua. You just can't. That's fair to say. But again, long term, I'm not concerned about Tua. This has been a great season from Tua. I think I'm not going to panic over this stuff. Just, again, it was just 2 weeks ago they nearly beat Buffalo, and Tua looked great in that game. So, I don't know. That's how I view all this stuff. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.